Edward and the Boulder. Edward is a very busy engine. One day he had been invited to the quarry for a great mining expo arranged by the Fat Controller and Sir Lower Hat. As he whooshed through the mine tunnel, he found that all was still and calm. "What's going on here?" whistled Edward. He was puzzled. "Shh, Edward, stop talking," said Bill. "It's story time. Rusty's going to tell us a story." "Story time is important," said Ben. "Shh." So Edward listened. "Once, I was mining at this great quarry, and there stood Boulder high up above." And Rusty told the story. Boulder was very mysterious. He ran loose round the quarry, causing danger wherever he went. And the Fat Controller decided it'd be best to leave this part of the mine alone. "But now they're mining here again," said Rusty. "Yes," said Thumper. "I was crushing rock like usual when Boulder sprung into action. It rumbled down the rails, breaking everything in its path." "Yes," said Rusty. "And we all had to outrun it. Rheneas, Scarloy, and I were in fear for our lives." "Wow," said Valerie. "That's a very moving story," said Brianna. "Even I'm in fear," said Goliath. "It's a little pish-posh, though." "It's not," said Ciara. "Boulders can move." "Yes," said Rosie. "We must all be very careful when mining here now." Bill and Ben were impressed as well. "What a wonderful tale!" "Stuff and nonsense," said Boko. "Boulders don't have eyes. That's impossible for a boulder of all things to come to life. And why would it run loose round a quarry? Why would they mine near a dangerous boulder? You never know," said Edward to Boko. "It may be true." "I can't believe you're entertaining this, Edward. You're supposed to be the voice of reason. Be the voice of reason that you are. Tell these engines otherwise." "They're wrong," said Boko. "You're right," chuffed Edward. "Boulders can't come to life." "Your theory is silly," said Edward. "I'm sorry, Rusty and Thumper, but I don't believe your boulder on the loose tale." "It's not a tale," said Thumper. "I was crushing rock like so, using my rotors, when Boulder sprung into action." "He's telling the truth," said Rusty. "You were there after all." "Don't you remember?" "I only remember bringing Thumper to the yards." "I'd left shortly after," said Edward. "Oh, but it's not a tale," said Goliath. "Yes," said Ciara, "it's a theory to be proven today," she said. Edward grumbled at the stone chute. "Humph! Rusty and Thumper making up silly tales. I've been on this railway far too long to believe a story as such." "What silly nonsense," said Edward. Then Brianna puffed over. "Why don't you believe in the tale?" she said. "Just because you weren't there to see it doesn't mean it didn't happen." "But boulders can't come to life," said Edward. "It's just not real." "Oh, pish posh, you'll soon see that what you think's not real is real indeed." "Huh," said Edward. "I'm here to do work, not play games." At last it was blasting time. "Come on, Thumper," said Carter Marks and the workman. "We've got to get ready to crush rock, eh?" Thumper was excited. Carter Markson got his headgear on and climbed inside Thumper. Thumper was working very hard, but very dangerously too. "Must be careful," said Boko. "We don't any boulders coming to life," he teased. "You're right," said Edward, chuffing up. "Boulders will come to life and run loose round the quarry," they teased. "You should believe in the tale," said Ciara. "I do not," said Edward. Carter Markson got out. "Let me just climb this ladder to see if all was right with Boulder." Boulder stood high above them, mysteriously. Oh. Then it happened. Boulder crumbled down the hill. Oh! And landed next to Edward. Oh! It's a runaway boulder, cried Ben. I'm right behind you, cried Bill. Oh, Rusty, said Boko, will you stop trying to frighten everyone with you and your play boulder over there? I'm not trying to scare everyone, said Rusty. This is real, like I said. Oh, wished Edward. Rusty, you're making everyone work in an unsafe environment. Bill and Ben were frightened. Let's go, said Ben. On it, cried Bill. And without a second thought, they biffed Mavis. Squelched Mavis. And away they went. The boulder thundered on. Everyone must evacuate the quarry, cried the workman. Boko was the first to leave. Let's go, said Carter Markson. Please can we go to a restaurant afterwards, said Butler Timothy. It's been a long day. Are you serious, said the workman. This is a state of emergency, and you want to have lunch? Carter Markson was cross. Ugh! Stop fighting, you two, cried the engines. Valerie and Goliath followed Boko out of the quarry. Where's Madison? Cried Brienne. She can't leave the quarry alone. I'm over here, she cried. Come along, said Brienne. This is an emergency. But I'm too lazy to move on me own, she said. And she scrunched away out of the sidings. What are you doing? Cried Carter Markson. You're taking too long. This is a bad state of emergency, said Butler Timothy. We must help her, said Carter Markson. On it. I'm too lazy to move by myself, she said. Brienne does. Let's go, she said, and she whipped Madison out of the quarry. What about me, said Rusty. Thumper and I have been waiting here. We have to get out of here as quickly as we can. We're needed at Lakeside. Mr. Percival is waiting for us. Don't worry, said Carter Markson. We called Oliver's crew here. He'll be here as soon as he can. And without a second thought, there was Oliver puffing into the quarry. Let's go. Are you alright, Rusty and Thumper? Not to worry, you two, I'll take you home. So, Rusty and Oliver were hitched onto each other, and Thumper was loaded onto the back flatbed. And without a second thought, Oliver shunted Rusty and Thumper out of the quarry as safely as he could, and Thumper just missed them. What about me? Cried Henrietta. Toby will be missing me. I'll get you, said Ciara. Don't worry. And I'll get Rosie and her trucks, said Edward. So, Ciara and Edward worked together to get the last of the crew out of the quarry. Ciara puffed through the tunnel. Don't worry, Henrietta. I'll take you to Toby. And Ciara shunted Henrietta out of the quarry as quickly as she could. Hey, hey, hey! Giggled the trucks. Edward was racing to the back of the quarry sheds to collect Rosie and her trucks. He knew this was an emergency and was not wasting any time. The workman quickly turned the turntable and Edward shifted. Ugh! Oh, right, said Carter Markson as he threw the switch, allowing Edward to shunt backwards. Thank you, said Edward. Thank you, said Rosie. We thought the boulder was going to crush us. You are a hero, said Rosie. You're my hero, Edward. No problem, said Edward. It's always good to be native assistance. Edward's crew coupled him up to Rosie, and they jaunted over to the trucks. Even Rosie's trucks were eternally grateful. Even if Rusty's story's not true, this is a very serious matter, puffed Edward. The last of the workmen rode out on Rosie's freight cars, and the boulder thundered past. Oh, cried Elizabeth and the fire brigade. Oh, it was terrible, Stanley, cried Goliath. Boulders running loose. It was very dangerous. It made me miss my friends on the rest of Sodor. It made me appreciate everyone who I know. So maybe you'll be nice from now on? Said Stanley, hopefully. Don't count on it, young one, said Goliath. No promises. I'll try at my best efforts. Oh, said Stanley. One can only dream then. All the engines evacuated the quarry safely, and the Fat Controller came to see Edward. "Edward, as a reward for your heroic act, I will see to it that that quarry is officially closed, and you will get a week off." Edward was very pleased. "Thank you, sir," said Edward. Rosie and Oliver thanked Edward. "It was no problem," said Edward. "So long as everyone's safe, I'm safe too. But I just hope that Rosie is alright. And I hope that Rusty understands that I've never meant any harm or disrespect," said Edward, and he huffed away to Tidman's sheds. Even though Boko never believed in Rusty's story, as he never experienced it, Edward thought maybe, just maybe, it was true.